friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Cassandra and I create videos on productivity, self-love, and the occasional travel and living abroad vlog. Welcome to the 5-part video series, Transform Your Life Challenge, co-hosted by myself and the Quirky Pineapple Studio, my creative marketing and media agency. This challenge is for business owners, creators, and people like you who want to review 2024 and set goals for 2025 so that you can show up more intentionally in all areas of business, life, and marketing. If you want accountability to review 2024, understand that business and life go hand in hand. You are looking for something else besides the business as usual productivity tips around business and marketing, and you want intentional space and time to actually plan for 2025, then this challenge is for you. In this first video, we'll be having an honest end of year review to look back on personal and professional achievements, as well as look back on the data and what worked and didn't work. In the second video, we'll be talking about auditing our life, business, and marketing so that we can reset our priorities and actually dedicate the time, energy, and resources we want to bring those priorities to life. In video 3, we'll be talking about setting goals for 2025 and envisioning what we want our lives to look like in the next year, how we want our business to look like, and our marketing.
In video 4, we are breaking down our goals into a 90-day foolproof plan with building systems and habits to support us in making our goals a reality.
And finally, in video 5, we're diving into how to stay motivated with your goals and the mindset to cultivate so that you can continue showing up for yourselves and all of the things that you want in 2025. Depending on when you watch this, make sure to check the video description box because all of the videos may or may not have already been posted, but I will be linking them in the video description box so that you can watch through everything. If you like more actionable tips with exercises and all of that stuff, then you can sign up for the Transform Your Life Challenge down in the video description box, which also gives you access to weekly emails and a Notion challenge hub that has activities and exercises for you to follow along. Without further ado, let's jump into the Transform Your Life Challenge. Okay, y'all, before we dive into reviewing personal and professional setbacks, I had to bring out the light because I don't know what happened to the sunlight over here. It just went away. I am currently in Northern Virginia visiting my family for the holidays, and this is where we are. This is the background that we are working with. And I didn't realize that the sun sets so much earlier, or starts to set so much earlier here than it does in Spain. So I thought I had like 3 or 4 more hours of sunlight. And I don't know where it went. It just went gray today. But that is besides the point. Let's dive into reviewing our personal and professional achievements this year, as well as our setbacks. I always say like reviewing our personal setbacks or professional setbacks, whichever, is super important because it gives us an idea of what didn't work so that we can we can plan to improve that for the next year. So let's dive in. So I like to take into account 3 things when I am reviewing my personal and professional achievements and setbacks. The first thing is really the setbacks, things that didn't work, because that helps me to kind of see where to improve next year. The next thing that I like to keep track of are my personal and professional achievements. So this can be things that I actually planned for, and then also things that were like really lovely surprises that came about throughout the year. I like to track all of that because maybe if I really like something and it was like a pleasant surprise, then I can see how I can recreate that in the future. And the last thing that I like to take into account are all of my celebrations. So this can be really big celebrations or even small ones. I like to keep track of all of that because I feel like it's really important to take time to celebrate our wins, big or small, because I don't know if you are like me or are similar. I used to always just go and not take time to celebrate big and small things. I would honestly like cross something off my achievements or my goals list, and then I would be like, okay, what's next? And instead of kind of just jumping all the time to the next thing, now I like to take some time to reflect on it and really give like this celebration, this win, the time that it deserves so that I can actually take into account like all of the work that I put in to achieve that. So those are the 3 things I like to review, and I like to combine both business and personal because for me, the personal impacts the business, and then the business, of course, impacts the personal. If you are registered for the Transform Your Life Challenge, then you should have received an email with the Notion Challenge Hub that you can work through this exercise as we're watching the video or as you're watching the video. And if you are not registered, then break out a pen and paper or open up a blank document, and we are going to do this together. If you want access to the Challenge Hub, by the way, then you can subscribe to the Transform Your Life Challenge to receive that via email, as well as weekly emails with all of the activities and exercises. So I'm gonna work through this with you all. We're gonna switch views, and I'm gonna share my screen so that you can kind of see how I am dividing up this paper or the sheet. If you're in the Notion Challenge Hub, then it's already divided for you. And we are just gonna list out some stuff together for my personal, professional achievements, as well as my personal and professional setbacks. So we're getting honest here.
All right, y'all can't see me, but I hope you can hear me. We are in the Transform Your Life Challenge Notion Hub. And this is where I will be sharing all of the exercises and activities so that you can follow along with the challenge. So here we have week 1, and in each of the weeks, they will pop up when the video is live. And of course, the status will be changed to live when it is live. And then here is where you can find the link to the YouTube video. If you aren't registered for the challenge via email, make sure you are so that you can get access to this free Notion Hub. So let's get into week 1's challenge. All you have to do is open up the challenge here, and then you can see all of the activities and exercises that I have. I'm not going to go through this whole thing with you all because I feel like that would make the video so long, but what I do want to go through is just some of the activities so that you can kind of see how I'm filling it out. So this week 1 is an honest end of year reset and review. And for this section of the video, we're talking about personal, professional setbacks and achievements. For example, some of the achievements here for my personal, these are things that I would list out like I passed my C2 Spanish exam, ran a 4-miler without stopping or walking, actually I would put that into my professional one. So here you can actually delete this when you have your own achievements. I'm going to keep this here so you all can have it. So for my professional achievements, I'm going to say something like started my YouTube channel, secured 1 paid brand partnership. So those are some of the things that I'm writing in my personal and professional achievements. And then for my lessons, some of the things that I'm sharing here in my lessons could be, let me think about this. For my personal, probably quitting my business without a backup plan. I'm going to put that under both personal and professional because I feel like it definitely took a toll on me personally as well as professionally. I mean, I didn't really quit my business, but I definitely took a sabbatical without a financial plan, and that is something I think I need to take into account. Another thing that was a setback was not selling a lot on socials. Those are things that I think I could definitely improve on. So this is just an example of how I would fill out this exercise these exercises for week 1. And then in the productivity and data check-in, I've listed out a couple of things to look for. And then in the business and marketing review, these are some journal prompts.
Pro tip here, y'all, is to be as honest as possible. Nobody else is going to be looking at your honest end of year review except for you. If you want to share it with people, then amazing. If you don't, then you don't have to. The reason why we want to be as honest as possible, no judgment, lots of self-compassion, is because it gives us actual data to work with when we want to go in and plan and review and also see what we can improve for the following year, or if there is something that is already going well, how we can continue that momentum for the next year. So once you have all of that, then let's dive into the super fun part, at least for me, I don't know about for you all, which is the data. So we're gonna be looking at the numbers and analytics of business, marketing, personal stuff to see what the numbers are actually telling us. Now that we've honestly reviewed our personal and professional achievements and setbacks, let's dive into the data, which means breaking out your numbers. If you are like me, then I was somebody who actually hated looking at the data and numbers because I thought that it was super daunting. And then by the time I actually sat down and reviewed it, I realized that I actually love it. Mainly because when I'm looking at the data and analytics side of things, especially when it comes to marketing, for example, how many people like something, what the engagement looks like, what impressions are, then that actually helped me see what worked and what didn't. Because once I saw that, I could finally decide, okay, this isn't working and it's just taking up a lot of energy and time. So we're gonna nix that, and then I could actually put my efforts into things that were working, which made marketing a lot more enjoyable. And I feel like this can be applied to lots of different areas of life. For example, when I am thinking about working out, or when I'm looking at savings, something that is kind of hard for me. But when I'm seeing my savings pot grow, that's when I'm like, okay, this is working. So if you're using the Notion Challenge Hub, then you can plug in your numbers and then take a look and see at the data to see what is working and what isn't. If you spot any trends or things like that, then that is something to mark down. If you aren't using the Notion Challenge Hub, then you can honestly just do this in a Google Doc or in your notebook. Write down the numbers and then review them. It's really important to review them and see if you can spot trends. Trends can honestly be anything. It could be like, okay, things went up, things went down. This month was really great, that month wasn't. If you can spot those things, which you will notice because you'll also see what worked in your life, what was happening in your life at the time, those are all things to note because they can be really great indicators of what to do or what not to do. Pro tip for all the folks who are watching this video and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate reviewing numbers and I don't like looking at data and pulling out like bank statements and all of that stuff gives me anxiety. That is very similar to me. So what I like to do is I like to keep it light. I also like to turn it into something fun. So that could mean dedicating like a morning to myself, having a coffee, pulling things out. Sometimes I like to bring out colorful markers and stickers, just something so that it is not so daunting, and actually turning it into a fun activity with all of my other like fun things. So that honestly could be like bringing out my pencil case and reviewing numbers with like colorful markers and putting in stickers so that I don't feel like this is so boring. Once you've done this part, now it's time to jump into the business and marketing side of things. All right, y'all, this is probably my favorite part. Did I say that already with another part? Okay, if I did, then scratch that. This is my favorite part. Now it's time to review your business and marketing. So we've already listed out our professional and personal achievements. We looked at lessons and setbacks, and then we pulled out some of the data. Now it's time to read through the data to see and understand what the numbers are actually telling us. This is something that I help my one-to-one clients with when we are designing their marketing roadmap, as well as something that I do with the Surge Marketing Support Group, which is a 3 or 6 month marketing membership that I host. So since we do this, we usually do this on like a monthly basis with them. And what we're going to do is break this up again into 2 categories, the business side and then the marketing side. First, we'll go into the business side of things. Now for the marketing side of things. Once you've got the business and the marketing side of things, this is when I like to combine the two, because really looking at them and simplifying them from business to marketing is great. But what we really want to do is make sure that we look at a holistic picture of the business and the marketing and how they flow together and really are interconnected and impact one another. So when you're looking at things like the business or the marketing, the data, then make sure that you kind of see, and if you can, spot trends in certain things. So for example, it could be, oh, you marketed this service or this offer in March and it resulted in really great sales in April. Or for example, you took a break from business in June because you were enjoying the summer months, and that meant that your marketing was also less. So then it took you a little bit longer to generate sales in September, for example. All of that stuff could be trends to spot when you are looking at your data and analytics. Something that I also like to look at as a small business owner and a creator is what was actually happening in my life at a certain moment. So let's say, for example, in March, I had a surge of sales because I was marketing more. And in my personal life, it was probably because I had so much energy, I was feeling really good, and I had a plan of action. Let's say, for example, in September, I see a drop in sales. So this also could be, oh, I was recovering from a back injury and it really impeded on how I showed up for my business because really doing anything and sitting for long periods of time was hurting my back. So these are just examples, but let's see if there's anything in your personal life that could have influenced or impacted your marketing, how you market, and your business throughout the year. Something else that I also like to mention is not only are you looking at like your personal life, I would also take a look at what was happening in the world, because even though as small business owners and creators, we may work on a smaller scale, on a local scale, or maybe a national scale within our home country, or whichever country we are living in, things around the world definitely impact how we market, what we market, how our business performs, and also if we are usually using social media, it also will impact how our content is reaching other people on social media. So take a look at that as well when you are looking at your business and marketing data. Looking at the personal and the worldly side of things honestly helps me, because sometimes when I'm looking at the data and it's not what I want to see, sometimes my inner critic will come in and then it'll kind of criticize me, and then I'll talk badly about myself, kind of like, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything, or I could have tried harder. And sometimes that's not the case at all, because certain things in life happen. For example, when I really hurt my back and I could not even sit for a long period of time, that stuff impacted how I showed up for my business. So looking at the personal and the worldly stuff helps me to have like a more holistic vision of just how my business and my marketing plays a larger role in all things in my life as well as the world. And I know sometimes we think, oh, it doesn't play a part at all, when in reality, all of these factors like impending doom and stuff, I don't know if you all have felt it, can really impact how we do things and how our business is affected by it. I feel like when I talk to clients and community members about reviewing their business and marketing and even life data, it sounds really boring. And yes, I feel like this is the unsexy side of productivity that nobody really wants to do. But the one thing I've learned about the unsexy side of productivity and being intentional with my life is that it helps me feel way better. I know when people are talking about like goal setting and planning and visioning, like that sounds really exciting because you get to imagine all of these amazing things, and then you feel like you're being super productive with setting goals and making a plan of action and how you're going to do stuff. But really, the work beforehand, the reviewing the data, the looking back and celebrating the wins, all of that is also really important to set a really good foundation to show up more intentionally. Because if we don't look at the data and we don't look at all of the things that happened in the past, we're kind of just jumping in and making guesses when we have so much information that can help us to make informed decisions and intentional decisions on how we show up in our life, how we show up in our business, and how we show up in our marketing. So with that being said, if you only take away one thing from this video, I hope it is that it is so important to celebrate our wins, big and small, and to reflect on our journeys. Mainly because it gives us the time to reflect reflect on the energy that we put in, the time, the resources that we put in to achieve something, and really acknowledge all of this work that we did, which is amazing. All right, y'all, this was episode 1 of the 5-part video series, Transform Your Life Challenge. Don't forget that if you would like more actionable steps, then to make sure to register for the Transform Your Life Challenge, I've linked it in the video description box, and you will be receiving weekly emails with activities and exercises to follow along. Not only that, you get a totally free Notion Challenge Hub, which has all of the activities and exercises already laid out for you so you can follow along very easily. In the next video, we'll be talking about auditing our life, business, and marketing to reset our priorities so that we can dedicate the time, energy, and resources to actually bring to life the things that matter most to us. Also, if you want to do some digital decluttering to prepare for 2025, then check out this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for being here. Ciao!